Hello again, and welcome back to the Greenhouse, where we give you biblical answers for practical problems and encourage you as you grow in your relationship with God and in the understanding of His truth. This video today is going to continue on the theme of growing in your relationship with God and the keys that the scriptures teach us to growing in that relationship with God. Let me encourage you with this, that the Bible clearly teaches that God does desire to have a very real and personal relationship with you. And that is a relationship that He wants each of us to enjoy and experience to the fullest. But His Word also tells us exactly how we can enjoy that relationship. And so, over these next several videos, we're going to be jumping into what a healthy relationship with God looks like, how we can experience Him deeper. Sometimes it just seems in our relationship with God that things can get a little stale and lose their freshness and their excitement. How do we keep that in our heart, and how can we feel like we're experiencing God in the best way that we can? Well, the scriptures teach us about all of these things. The first area that is important for us to consider is this: salvation. It is impossible for you and I to have a relationship with God outside of salvation. Salvation being offered to us through the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. The Bible teaches us that in order for you and I to have a relationship with God, sin has to be dealt with. And sin is anything that I think, anything that I say, or anything that I do that breaks God's law. And the scriptures tell us very clearly that each of us are sinners. We've all broken God's law. The standard for us to have a relationship with God is not our comparison to someone else, but rather our comparison to God Himself. And His standard is perfection. And unless you can reach and maintain that level of perfection, it's impossible for you and I to have a relationship with God on our own. The scriptures say this: for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, and that there's none righteous, no, not one. And so you and I aren't able to establish that relationship with God on our own. No amount of works, no amount of good actions or good intentions can establish and maintain a relationship with God. The only way that our relationship with God can begin is through the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. The scriptures tell us in John 14, Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. The only way that we can have a real relationship with God is through Jesus Christ, specifically the sacrifice that Christ made for us. The scriptures teach us, and the Gospels record, that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. He was born of a virgin, lived a perfect and sinless life. And as the sinless, spotless, perfect Son of God, Jesus Christ went to the cross and shed His blood as payment for the sins of the entire world, and was buried and rose again on the third day. This is the gospel in a nutshell: the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And you and I, the scriptures teach us, must put our trust in the finished work of Christ, His death, burial, and resurrection, for the forgiveness of sins. That gives us salvation. For without salvation, the Bible teaches us that we are already condemned. That eternal part of us that God created, our soul, will be forever separated from God because of our sin. And that sin alienates us from Him, separates us from Him. The only way that that gap can be bridged and that separation can be mended and restored is as we are reconciled through the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. Romans 5 teaches us this. So the very first step is very simple. It's not church membership. It's not more church activity. It's not more stuff. It's not more works. It is simply faith and trust in the finished work of Jesus Christ. The Bible makes it very clear. He that hath the Son hath life. He that hath not the Son of God hath not life. And so for us to begin that relationship with God, salvation is the very first, most essential key. And we'll continue talking about these other keys over the next few weeks. If you have questions about what salvation means, there's a lot that can be said about it. There's a lot that we can discuss about it. But if you have any questions, or if you're watching this video and you're not sure, that you actually have that relationship with God. There's never been a time in your life where you personally called upon Jesus Christ and asked him to save you and cleanse you from your sin, and you would like some more information about that, talk about that a little bit more, feel free to comment. We love to try and encourage you, help you any way that we can, and hope these videos are a blessing to you. Look forward to seeing you next time as we continue. Next week's key, just to give a little bit of a tease, will be investment. The first key is salvation, but the next key to having a healthy, growing relationship with God is investment. And we'll talk about what that looks like the next time we see you on the channel.